Good day everyone. Today on the bench I'm going to tie you up a purple seal bugger. This is fly pattern Denny Rickards. It's a color I come up with. Over the years I've really liked this coloration. I'm going to tie it exactly the way Denny had me tie all his flies for him for years. I seen this fly originally in the Fly Fisherman magazine in black, and I was happily surprised. I took it out to a public lake and caught probably the nicest fish I've ever seen out of there with the first time I threw the seal bugger that day, and it's been a really good fly. We've fished many years and tied lots of them, and got a great fly there. We're going to start with a 220 size 10 Daiichi hook. On the front I'm going to be using some 020 lead. On the front I'm going to use some soft red wire, small, for the rib. The hackle, I'm going to use some burgundy, dyed burgundy saddle. And for the body, I'm going to use this coloration here. Danny's got about 10 or 12 colors he likes. This is one of my favorites. Purple seal fur with UV purple ice dub blended. Hard pressed to convince me that purple is not one of the best colors to use on trout. We've always been accustomed to using it for steelhead salmon. We know how good it is. And then I'm going to add this fluorescent fuchsia in the tail, which is another nice add. This fly looks really cool in the water. Okay, so I'll put a hook in the vise. I'll get to it. Sometimes these older patterns, this pattern's been around quite a few years by now, and it's really been fished extensively. And been a proven fly for years. Denny still sells a ton of these. People like them, they keep coming back, they want them. It's a simple fly, and I'm going to tie it exactly the way Denny wants them done. The way I used to tie them for him, I don't tie for him anymore, but they're not tied like a woolly bugger. They look like a woolly bugger, but he has a different way of doing it. Remember, I met him in Montana with a big order I did. I was going to pay for my trip with all these flies, and I said, well, they got 5 wraps on them. He said, I only want 4. I just couldn't believe it, but he had a reason for it. When I seen what he did and why he's doing the segmentation the way he is, I get it now. So I'm going to take a nice, this is a purple quill. I know the camera light is probably going to look more blue just because of the way it shows up on your camera, on your screen, but it is purple. Take a long blood quill tail on it, really sparse. You can put a little more on there if you want. Really, it's a very sparse tail. I'm just going to tie this in exactly the way Denny does it, and it's been proven, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I'll come in here with a little bit of my red wire for the rib, and I thought he was tying these kind of backwards in my opinion. I always put wire over top of my flies for durability, and Danny was doing it this way, but it is durable. I'm not going to knock it for that. So you're going to tie it from the tip. I usually go from the front to the back, the butt of the feather. But once tip tied at the rear, and there's a reason for that. We'll get into it in just a second. You'll see why. I'll throw a half hitch on there, and then I'm going to dub my seal fur body. Olive, burnt oranges are one of the top seal buggers I know, and olives, straight blacks. Lots of good colorations. So we get a nice dub body on there. Seal fur is quite buggy, is why we use it. Then the ribbing comes in here. I usually put it over the hackle for reinforcement, but I can see why when we do this next step. Tie that off good. Then we'll get in with a dubbing picker. Then we can really work this dubbing out, and that's critical. We want this, actually the seal fur is probably doing as much or more for the pattern as the hackle. It's got quite a characteristics in the water. It's great. So we take a turn at the rear, and then I'm going to sweep it forward. Underneath, I'm going to get 4 turns. Front, I'm going to just take an extra turn, just give a little more thickness. And then tie it off behind the head here. We'll whip finish behind the head. Get a whip finish there. Straggler in there, that's alright. I'll come back in and pick it out again, and you see it's not fragile fly at all, with tackles hanging in there pretty good, and it'll take a lot of fish before that gets mangled up. Never really had much issues with that. But you see how you can get that sail first standing up more, and you get the 4 segments of the hackle is quite important, and not overdoing it. So there it is. That's a great color, that purple with the UV purple ice stub in there. That fly has caught a ton of fish. First day I tried it, I always liked purple. I thought, well, I'm going to do a purple seal bugger. I had a old fellow on the boat with me all day. We were out on a lake. I don't know how many fish we caught. It was a tremendous success, I'll give it that, and been fishing ever since. But purple, we starting to use them in lots of nymphs, dry flies, and other things too. It's showing up in many patterns over the years, so don't discount it. Maybe you want to try some of your favorite patterns. Just throw a little purple in there and see what happens. So all the best. We thank you for watching again on the bench, and catch you on the water.
To watch all our latest Sport Fishing on the Fly episodes and to order Sport Fishing on the Fly merchandise, head to www.sfotf.ca. And if you would like to book an adventure like this one shown, head to ontheflyadventures.ca and book yourself the trip of a lifetime.